So at this time, it's an honor and a pleasure to have our district governor, Sharon Moulder, and her husband, Gary, here with us today. So without any further ado, we're going to welcome her to the platform. Thank you.
Thank you, Lori. Don't sit down yet. Okay. I didn't want you to pick it up. The first thing I wanted to do is present you all with the new theme banner. Let's stand over here. Maybe get a picture off down here. Yeah, wait.
Take one after. We can do it after.
What?
We can do it after, but here.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. No.
And thank you. Thank you. As you can see from the banner, the magic of Rotary, that is the theme for this Rotary year. And when I found that out, I was very excited because I thought it sounded like fun, and I like to have fun. Because if you don't make everything you do fun, then it becomes a chore. So we want to make Rotary fun, but also accomplish some things. So what I want to do today is just remind you why we joined Rotary and how we can use the magic. I don't know what that was. It fell.
Nothing important.
Okay. How we can use the magic of Rotary to help other people. And there are ways you can do that. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. But a couple of things I want to talk about. I came to your steak dinner, Gary and I did, and it was really nice. Thank you all for having us. And I want to recognize my buddy Chris Blount back there, who was president of the Madison Ridgeland Club when I joined Rotary. So that was a long time ago. But they were having a membership contest, and so anyway, it's nice to see Chris. And then Gary, of course, goes with me everywhere I go, and he helps me with everything, so I appreciate that. It's always good to have a supportive spouse when you have this job, because it is a lot to do. Okay, so I would like to talk about today just some things that you can do to inspire you, and also ways that you can help others and how that money can be received in grants to help you with that. So don't let money be an object. So some of the things you have to do as Rotarians is you have to bring other people in, because the more people we have, the more work we can do. And we're all here, we joined Rotary to serve others, right? And in the beginning, you may join and just know that somebody asked you to join this club and you'd heard about it and you joined, and it takes a while to understand, what you're here for and what you're doing. But I feel like when we join, we do know that service is a big part of Rotary. And so you get your numbers up, and then giving to the Rotary Foundation and the Polio Plus Society are important ways that you can help raise money to help others. Because if we don't have the funds, we can't do our work, just like any business. So we still have to do that part. It's the ugly part that people don't like to talk about. It's your money, but you do need to give something. And it sounds like y'all are really on top of that with your Polio Plus support and Paul Harris. So continue to do that. And if you're a new Rotarian and you don't understand what all this talk is about, get someone to explain it to you so you understand. And then once you have those members and you have the money, then you can do some service projects. And service projects promote retention. So if you feel like, we need to get some younger people in our club, I'm going to tell you right now, the younger people that join are going to say, why am I here? I thought we were going to do some stuff. What can I do? How do we do it? Where do we get the money? They want to do that. So that's a big part of what we do. And I don't want you to lose sight of that as Rotarians. The lunch every week is great. You get to socialize with all your friends and have a good lunch, and it's nice, but don't lose sight of why you joined Rotary. And then make your club flexible. So I know in the Madison Ridgeland Club, and I really didn't get to talk to Lori very much before we started, but we had a flexible membership plan. So if someone was retiring, we didn't want to lose them because retirees are just as important as anybody else, and they still can help with service, whether it's writing a check if they don't like to get out there, and they are willing to do that, or call people, email people. So what we did was set up a plan where they only had to pay the Rotary dues, and then their meals would be paid only when they came to the meetings. So that worked out really well. We've been able to keep some people we may have lost because of that. Also, we have a corporate plan. So if you are a member or work for a big corporation and you can't come to Rotary one day, send someone in your place. I think your club would be okay with that, and then that person gets exposed to Rotary. Maybe they didn't know what Rotary was. Every week when you say, I got to go to Rotary, they didn't know what that was. So it's good to expose them. So that's a good way to get some exposure. And also treat somebody you work with. They get a free lunch, right? So it's important to continue to grow and think about that all the time. So Rotary is also very involved in the polio eradication, which sounds like you guys are all over that, which I'm so happy to hear that. Some of the things that the district is doing, I really would like to see people join the Polio Plus Society. You can do this for $10 a month. $10. That's nothing, You wouldn't even miss it. That's your cheap cup of coffee every day, So I'm asking you to fill this form out and email it to Ed Thurman, and so that we, as a district, we can kind of keep up with how many Polio Plus Society members we have in our district. So the forms are back on the table. So think about that, and you're not going to miss $10. So I really would like to see you support polio that way, if you can. Something else, and I know that you guys have some stuff going on for Polio Day, but we also have the run, the color run. It's an evening run, and we understand, some people can't make it. But if you can, just come and walk or come and cheer us on. This is the registration link down here, or you can scan the QR code. And I have a bunch of these back on the table too. And I've emailed all this stuff, so it should be in your email too. So those are some things I'm asking you to do for polio. It's popping up in the war-torn countries that are new now, like Gaza has a case of polio because, the sewer water is running in the streets now, and that's where it comes from. And if, it could easily come here. And we saw that a few years ago when we had some cases pop up. And I remember as a child, how many of you remember people getting polio and that shot you had to get and all that stuff? So it was scary. I can remember my mom keeping us home because she was scared we would get it. And I know people that survived it, but they have disabilities because of it. So we don't want that to pop up here in America or anywhere. And no child that is totally helpless, it's not their fault that they live where they live and that these things are happening. So give them a chance at life. And I think if we can save one child, that's really great. So think about that as you consider, giving to polio. And so that's my little pitch for giving, membership, and service. So just wanted to talk to you real quick about some events that are coming up. Our service trip to Mexico is February 15th through the 21st. And I know Greg always goes with us, and Gary and I will be going again. It's a great thing. If you want to go, it's not too late yet, but it's getting too late. So if you're interested, let me know and I'll point you in the right direction. It's not really that expensive to go. It costs you personally about $2,000 depending on the airfare. The hotel is not that costly over there. So think about that. And then we have our District Foundation Gala, which is going to be March 21st next year, and it's at the Refuge Hotel in Flowood. And then we have RILA, and I know y'all send kids to RILA, and that's March 6th, 7th, and 8th. And Women in Rotary is going to be March 5th this year. And then Pets will be coming up March 14th through the 15th. And then we have our district conference, and that's April 4th and 5th in Cleveland, Mississippi. And this is a joint district conference with 6,800, which is it's the little part of Mississippi up here that's not in our district, and then part of Tennessee. So, And Arkansas. Gary's helping me out here. Tennessee and Arkansas. Anyway. So they're doing this with us, and we decided to have it in Cleveland. Cleveland is a great small town. If you've never been there, I've been to check it out, and I really liked it. It's a lot of fun. Friday night, we're having an event at the Grammy Museum. We have a band and music and all that, food, everything. And you can also, we'll be the only people at the museum. So you can go inside, walk around. So it'll be a lot of fun. And then the actual conference is going to be all day Saturday. It's going to be a little bit shorter than normal because we wanted people to feel like it was doable. Like, I can go to that, it's one day, it's not that far. And we're at the Cotton House. Everything will be at the Cotton House Saturday. And we have a lot of good speakers. And then we're going to try to get you out of there by 4. So if you want to stay over that night and enjoy Cleveland and all the great food and blues music, you can stay and enjoy that. So those are some things. And then the international conference this year is in Calgary. So that's June 21st through the 25th. So those are some events that are coming up. So I want to give you guys an opportunity to think about what the magic of Rotary can do for your club. So I'm going to ask Lori, I gave her a little notepad, and I'm going to ask her to write down the ideas that you come up with. And I want you to this is my magic wand. As soon as I found out that I get to talk about magic, I got my sign on Amazon. It's not a voodoo wand, it's not bippity boppity boo, it's Rotary magic. So, and Rotary magic means money's really not an object to help people. You can do anything you want. So, I'm asking you guys to pass this wand around and talk about your service project idea, whether it's just something in the local community or it's big. Don't cheat and say peace in the world. This isn't Miss America. Think hard about what you've been thinking. I wish we would do that, but you've never said it out loud. So, Lori.
I'm starting or writing?
Yeah, you're starting. Everybody's on the spot, and you're really on the spot.
So an idea for me would be to address the homeless population here in the city of Jackson.
In what way?
Finding some community maybe for them where they're not interrupting the activities of the city. And
Okay.
Finding a community for them.
Yeah, so put that on your list and then pass it to the table. So I'm going to pass table by table. We won't have time for everybody, and I know you're all anxious to tell us your idea.
Anybody want to start? Somebody start.
Don't ask for volunteers, just draft them. Play the game, come on.
Laura Galloway Methodist Church has a Grace Place Ministry for Homeless down outside the church, a building outside the church, and we always need volunteers to help with that. It's a breakfast 4 mornings a week for homeless people.
And they need money for food.
Yeah, and money too. Oh, you're on.
Like the looking torch you got.
Farm Bridges has been a kind of a pet project of some folks in the club. And really that whole corridor of Old Canton, there's a group of folks that really keep it clean. I've gone out there once on Saturday with them, so it's a good, worthwhile project.
Playgrounds and other recreational facilities, bike trails that are Rotary Club sponsored. I always stop and say, wow, that's something they did that left, and they had signage and left a tangible reminder of what Rotary is. To your point, some people have no idea what Rotary is. And to see those evidences, of a park or a bike trail, jogging trail with the Rotary sign on saying the Rotary Club did a fundraiser that resulted in that facility, I think that is awesome. That's something we could do more in this area.
I'm going to second his comment about Grace Place. It needs support.
You don't really have to talk into it.
I was gonna say, it is mic'd up. It is mic'd up. We got power in it.
Professional matter.
I'm going to third the Grace Place comment. We talked about that before Luther brought it up.
Pass it back.
I like the idea of the playground and walking trails, since that's what I do. But that does make a huge impact on our community.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, it's never been lost for work. I go to Tulsa a lot for work, and they have like a kind of a square area in their downtown where all the Rotary clubs got together and kind of put in a whole park. So I think it would be good to do something that could be like a district type project where we all could kind of work together.
And I'm pleased to pass it to Marissa.
I would have to second or third or fourth Palm Bridges, just its location, and I think we've enjoyed the projects that we've put in there, just to keep that up and do a little more. I mean, I think it's gotten everyone's attention. And I do enjoy the plaques. I was walking through Oxford and I didn't realize that the new pocket park, the little fountain that is there in the little pocket park in between Nielsen's and maybe City Hall, that was the Rotary Club in Oxford did install that fountain. So that was just something nice to see.
Well, this project, Chairman, I'm gonna take notes on all this, Lord. Our next board meeting, we'll try to narrow it down to some of the things that we want to do. I do know that one of the projects we're going to try to do is look at maybe putting another bench out at Farm Bridges and maybe plant some more bulbs or flowers and just do kind of some general cleanup and everything. But I like all the other ideas everybody's saying. Pass it over that way.
Well, from the governor's perspective and the Mississippi legislature, this may sound like a bridge too far, but I think we in the state are missing the boat with our atrocious rest stops. If you're on the highway coming through the state, whether you're a resident or a visitor, and you look at any of the states around us, we are like 100 years behind. It would take a lot of money, but I don't see why Mississippi Rotary couldn't get together and try to lobby, as well as raise some money for some 501c3 to help with that. It's going to take a lot of money, but guys, it is terrible. And we're supposed to be having all this tourism.
And what was it that
rest stops where you
rest stops
along the highways and the interstates anyway.
Yeah.
So they're terrible.
My magic would be to get more people involved in reading at Walton School. I can use a lot more volunteers, or we can use a lot more volunteers. So just check your calendar. It's at noon on Friday, and we can use more volunteers. That would be a magic. No magic?
It's a magic.
Why am I feeling guilty here, Bill? I love the idea of doing something in our club's geographic area. And I know that we've the boundaries are blurred and we're not strictly divided into geographic areas anymore, but in my mind, Parham Bridges is a perfect opportunity, Chris, for us to get that sign planted, but I want to do more than plant bulbs. My magic would be for us to really come up with a stretch type project that we have to raise money and raise volunteers and raise resources for, and really working with the groups that are doing Parham Bridges, come up with something that would be an incredible value add to the energy that's already in there. That would be my magic.
And you'll be the chair of that project committee, right?
Pardon me?
You'll be the chair of that project committee?
I will be glad to work with whomever. But LaFleur East, as Bill pointed out, is a 501c3 that's very involved in that. Is this mic working?
I love that.
Would you like a microphone?
Anybody else?
Talks into it like a microphone. It's
Here,
funny.
here, let me have it. I have Greg's. All right. Since we put the first benches in Parham Bridges, we've been trying to figure out how to put a Rotary emblem that would be visible to mark those benches as club gifts. And we got so far along as we actually we have the emblem. We've never figured out how to stick it on there so that we think it will last. But it's not really magic. It's just more creativity. But I think that Greg and I will redouble our efforts to get those benches properly identified. And then since somebody stole our plaque for the second time, we're going to have to refix. We're going to fix it again.
Second time?
Yeah.
I thought you retrieved it after I found it damaged.
Yeah, no, they stole the plaque because they thought it was bronze. They thought it was it's actually very nice plastic. But we need to get it back on the foundation. Stanley?
Yeah, I've got an idea with that. I think maybe sound more something, but monument companies have the ability to embed stuff on granite.
Yeah.
Maybe they can embed it on benches, and I've got a couple contacts with maybe in front.
Okay, but we'll talk. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Udiel Pineda and I had already said if they steal it again, we're going to have a granite monument so they can't haul it off.
Put a tracker on it or something. All right, well, thank you all for playing my magic wand. Lori has a list here. And so now you guys have that list to work on, and I'm going to challenge you. When I left the Leland Club, they had a list. They were already in the back of the room making plans when I left. So stick to the list. It will, just look at it and go, okay, this is what we're going to do, and figure out the way to make it happen. And if you have questions, let me know. If I can help you, I will. But I hope this encouraged you to get back into service and what we joined Rotary for. The reason we're here, to change the world, do good in the world, make people have a better life. One person at a time, if it's necessary. Letting folks know, hey, we're here, that's always good. So I appreciate being here today, and thank you all. Does anybody have any questions real quick? It's about time, but. All right. Well, yeah.
Is somebody trying to say something? Okay.
Okay. I have the Rotary passports here too. Do you have these yet? These are Rotary 101 in a little booklet. So if you meet someone and you want them to come visit Rotary and they ask you what it is, go over it with them in this booklet and let them have it. So I'm going to leave some of those with you. I have a whole stack over there. So.
Well, we would like to give you this Rotary mug, and we're going to keep you updated on our progress.
Yes, I would love that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Lori.
Uh-huh.
Thank you all. Thank you. Okay.
We'd like to thank everyone for coming today, and we ask you to stand and join with our Rotary motto, service above self, profits the most, service the best. Thank you and have a